Hello everybody, thank you for watching this video. Now this is my question and answer video. If you haven't watched my previous my story, I did sort of a overview of what was going on with me when I was diagnosed with vitamin D deficiency. I sort of talked briefly about my symptoms and just basically, you know, how I was dealing with it at that time. So what you guys have done is you've obviously put loads of questions in the comment section, which I obviously said I was going to do an update in a month's time. At that time, that was November. So I'm so embarrassed and so ashamed, and I'm so sorry. I've recorded the update, so hopefully that should be up now. I don't know. Anyway, and now I've gone over the questions. I've spoken to some of you via Instagram, via the comments. Some of you emailed me. I've had people, all sorts of directions come in and asking me questions to do with how I sort of dealt with the vitamin D deficiency and some specific questions they had in terms of the symptoms that they were getting. So I'm going to run through the questions as quickly as possible. Everybody should know by now, if you've watched my videos, that I love talking. So I'm going to try and be as quick as possible so I don't yap on forever. Okay, let's just get down to it. One question was directed at brain fog. So how did I deal with brain fog and dizziness, and did I get dizziness? Now, brain fog is one of the hardest things to explain. It's a weird cognitive feeling. You feel a bit like you're disjointed from everything, like everything's taken so long to fully settle in with you mentally. You know what's going on, you know what you're doing, but it's so surreal to explain how it feels and what it's like dealing with brain fog. So yeah, I suffered, and I said that in my previous video. Brain fog was one of the things that I hated the most. Apart from the aches and pains, I think anything to do with the mind and to do with how you're taking things in can just affect you in every way, shape or form. Because at least with pain you can sort of grit it and sort of ride through. But when you're dealing with stuff to do with your brain and your head and you're feeling a bit like what's going on, all sorts of things can spark up in your mind, and you just don't feel good from the inside out, because you know, nothing's even going on up there. Up there it's just a bit like, ugh. So that was horrible. And I did get the dizziness, and I remember when I was getting ready in the morning, I would be standing by the mirror and then have to sit back on my bed, and I'd lie down and I'd just close my eyes and try to get myself back. It sort of made me feel a bit centered when I closed my eyes. It would bring me back, and then I'd be able to stand up when I felt good. So that's maybe a tip or advice for somebody. If you feel dizzy, just sit down, take it easy, maybe have some water near you, so that you can just calm yourself down, get your brain a bit centered, and then proceed with what you're doing. I can't imagine having to deal with it properly in a corporate environment, because I was fortunate enough to be working within sort of a family business and stuff at the time, so I could sort of excuse myself when I'd get dizziness at work and the brain fog at work. But for those of you that are working obviously for other people, it's maybe a bit difficult, because you need to be on the ball. If you're in a meeting, you can't sort of say, oh, you know, right now I'm a bit disjointed. So yeah, I empathise with you. It's horrible. It's just unfortunately one of the symptoms that you have to deal with, that you may have to deal with. I don't know if everybody gets it. Okay, so the second question was in relation to my skin tone. Okay, so all of you can see I'm a very chocolate woman, and if you've read up on vitamin D deficiency, you will see that dark skin, with dark skin, it's harder to absorb vitamin D deficiency, vitamin D. So that sort of made my situation worse. And because I live in the UK, it's cold here majority of the time, so we don't get much sun at all, making it even more worse. So I live in a country where there's not that much sun, and then here I am, the darkest skin in the world, and well, not darkest skin in the world, but you know what I mean, with dark skin in a country where there's no sun, and it kind of sucks because I can't sort of say, let me go out and get a bit of sun, because we don't really have that much sun, only in the summertime. For me, what was strange, I think the symptoms for me started around this time last year. So around July time, I started really getting the symptoms badly. And this is sort of the heart of summer, which is a bit weird because I was sort of walking around during that time, and I would be outside more, and I used to run as well around my area to get a bit of exercise. So I often found that really weird to sort of understand why wasn't it. But I think when I googled, there's something to do with the latitude. Now I don't fully understand that yet, but it has to be at a certain point for the vitamin D to even be there to be absorbed. So you might want to look into that. So those of you that have dark skin, I feel your pain, and the only thing you can do is maybe try and book yourself a holiday if you can. If not, try and eat foods that are high in vitamin D and take your supplements. So how much vitamin D deficiency, well, the person said, do I take? But I'm not taking it anymore, so did I take? I was on 10,000 units for 3 months. So yeah, 10,000 units, 3 months. Some of you have commented that you're in really low dosages, especially in relation to how low your vitamin D deficiency is. I would speak to your doctor about it. Just raise it up with them and say, I don't know whether this is the right amount you should be giving me, and challenge them. So yeah. Next question, when did they test for it? Yeah, somebody was asking me, did I get tested for vitamin D first time I presented my symptoms, or was it later on? Now, if you watch my story, you will see that it wasn't straight away. I was going back and forth to the doctors, and because I was being told I had anxiety issues, I knew that I didn't have anxiety issues, so I hounded on them. I said, there's something wrong. It got to the point where my doctor was being rude to me. He was being horrible, and I couldn't stand him anymore. He said, your symptoms don't seem to be consistent. You keep coming here with all these problems, and we've told you there's nothing wrong with you. Excuse me? I know there's something wrong with me. And it was that day, because I'd gone to A&E, I think maybe the night before. The man at A&E did an examination of me and said, I personally don't feel that, you know, you've got anything serious in terms of like any tumours in your head or whatever going on with you, but you should get them to test magnesium, vitamin D, and he listed some other things. So I took that on board. I went to the doctors the next day, and I told them, look, test me for this, because if you don't want to listen to me, just test me for what the doctor at the hospital said, and we'll see. And then that's how they found out that I had vitamin D deficiency. But that was like 3 months after I got fed up with the symptoms. So yeah, somebody else, well, I think a few people commented on magnesium and the importance of taking magnesium with vitamin D deficiency. Now, for me, I tried to take magnesium with my vitamin D, and the effects it had on me wasn't good, so I stopped. So I didn't take it personally. Now, for everybody else, if it's something that you want to do or you've been advised to do, go for it. If you don't, if it doesn't sit well with you, like it didn't sit well with me, stop. It's your body, and you need to do what you feel is going to be best for yourself. But I'm not a doctor. I spoke to my doctor about it and said, should I take magnesium? They said it's not compulsory at all. So I tried it. It didn't go well with me, so I stopped. Somebody else commented on bruising. Oh my gosh, yes. When I saw that comment, I was like, I'm not the only one. I started making up scenarios in my head as to when I've hurt myself or hit my leg. It's not happened. It was just all made up in my brain. I did get bruised. I used to get bruised on my legs, especially. I remember I would just look, I'd be like, where did that come from? And then that would go, and then I'd see another one. I'd just be like, what's going on? Am I sleepwalking and hurting myself without realising? So I did get bruises. I'm not too sure what the bruising was from. So, and I did go to the GP about it. He said, oh, I don't know. So, doctors, eh? So yeah, you know, there's not much I could do with that. Somebody asked me how long was my recovery. Now, recovery was a relatively long process. It's not like having the common flu where it takes a few weeks. No, it was, I mean, after I took the supplements for 3 months, I would say it took about a month to a month and a half for me to get back to normal 100%. But I would say after the 3 months, I felt 90%, 80% better. So after taking the supplements, and then it took a while for me to certain things to my legs to go, and then I was fine. So there is light at the end of the tunnel, guys. Yeah, somebody asked me, why did I stop taking the vitamin D deficiency? Now, why do I keep saying that, taking vitamin D deficiency? Why did I stop taking the vitamin D? I stopped taking the vitamin D because my doctor told me to. My doctor gave me 3 months, supplements, 10,000 units, like I said previously. I took them, and when it was over, it was over. I did ask, do I have to take like lower dosage? Will it be a shock to my system that I'm not taking them anymore? But he said I shouldn't worry, and I should just go, and I can buy some vitamin D tablets sort of over the counter at any sort of supermarket, or sort of somewhere like Holland and Barrett's, Boots here that we have here that sell things like that. So I bought calcium and vitamin D. I was taking that for about a month. I stopped taking it because I just did. I take vitamins, multivitamins, as much as I can, and yeah, that's pretty much it. But I can't give you a reason like I stopped taking them because I didn't like them. I just stopped because my supplements stopped, and that was it. How long was I on medication for? As I said previously, I was on the medication for 3 months. So I was on it, again, 10,000 units, 3 months. Then that was it. Did tests to see whether my levels had gone back up, and they were back to normal. So I was fine to go. And this is the last question. Oh, no, it's not the last question. Okay, there's one. So somebody asked me, how did I overcome feeling rubbish? Now, everybody that has vitamin D deficiency, especially if it's really low, will know that you feel rubbish from the inside out, and it shows. Everyone used to see me and be like, are you okay? Because they could just tell that I was just like, ugh. You feel awful. Now, vitamin D deficiency, like the recovery of it is a process. I said I've done a video before, just like an update video, and in there I spoke about how you have good days, you have bad days. Some days it's fantastic, some days you feel rubbish. So I can't say to you that you're going to have brilliant days all the time, but I can only give you advice that try to surround yourself in things that will make you feel happy. If you know your family make you feel happy, stay with them. If you've got a boyfriend or a girlfriend, stay with them, and stay with somebody who's going to give you that extra bit of sympathy so that you can sort of wallow in it a little bit and feel sorry for yourself. Another thing I did is put things around my wall. I do that often, and just sort of write, you know, it's going to be okay, I'm going to get better. It sounds silly, but words can play out, have an impact on you in a positive way. So that's what I did. I sort of told myself that it's going to be okay, boo, and you're going to be all right. And it's hard to believe, can't lie. Some days you just think, I don't even want to get up. But remember that every day is a day closer, especially if you're on the supplements and you've got the diagnosis. Every day is a day closer to you feeling back to your normal self. So you just got to ride things, be strong, and you'll be fine. And the last question, which is I sort of answered in my update video, was how am I now? Guys, I'm fantastic. I'm feeling brilliant. In terms of the vitamin D deficiency, I don't have the symptoms that I was having at all. I did go on holiday. I went away to get a bit of sun during that time, which helped. A bit of rays on my skin. And yeah, I'm good. Apart from some other health issues that I may have had, vitamin D deficiency issues, no, non-existent, doesn't exist, and it's not coming back. I have no room for vitamin D deficiency. I'm not dealing with that again. So yeah, guys, I'm fine. So hopefully that has answered your questions. I'm not too sure. Hopefully it has. If you have any more questions, feel free. I'll do another one. I'm on the ball now with the videos. I will get them done. So I wish you a speedy recovery. I'm going to be doing some more videos on health anxiety and just to educate people on vitamin D deficiency a bit more. So stay tuned for those. And thank you for watching, especially if you got this far, because I've yapped your ear off. Again, any questions, leave them in the comments. Thank you so much, guys, and have a lovely day. And I wish you a speedy recovery. Bye.